Hey guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. The other day I was looking at Bill Maher and Jordan Peterson having a conversation on Bill Maher's podcast Club Random. They were talking about sort of like being young kids and how life is better as an adult, and then as well sort of some relationship conversations. Please check it out. Let me know what you think.
I still was like a nervous mess going to school because there was no such thing as like protecting you from bullying. Mm-hmm. There was one kid who was bullied so unmercifully. I can't believe he didn't kill himself, but we were made of sterner stuff. So, I mean, the fact that I had that kind of upbringing where I wasn't overprotected, where I got understood very early, certainly before I went off to college, what real sorrow was. Not that I like went to war or anything, that would be the ultimate, but like, you know, getting dumped the first time when you're in 17 and, you know, just the bullying stuff in the schools and all that kind of stuff. You're going off to college, and then college, there was no social life at Cornell. It really sucked. I mean, by the time I got into adulthood, I was like, oh, that.
The difference is about kids and bullying, though, now, today, than previously, is even when I was growing up, like, you get bullied or something, you go home, you're not being bullied anymore. There's, you know, the bullies aren't really, like, coming into your bedroom and stuff, right? Not coming into your house. But now with the internet, you know, things are being shared and being said about you that you see it all the time. So it's more pervasive. It just like follows you. We need to think about that. And if you're an impressionable young kid, it's like you need that time to just disconnect, you know?
What happens to me? It's just not worse than Cornell. And so, like, it's all been gravy. And I was always meant to be an adult. You know, I like adult things. I didn't even like children when I was a child. I thought they were very childish. I went to Cornell the first semester. I alienated the entire dorm because they were, like, having shaving cream fights every night. Okay, it's funny for a week. And then it was like, and I like said something, and then I was like the asshole Niedermeyer and had to like lock myself in the room while they banged on the door and, you know, wrote bad. You know, I mean, it's like that was my experience up until like almost till I got out here. And then
one of the things
I remember in my college and the residents, they turned the hallways into a giant slip and slide with soap. So they took like a dish soap and water, put it all over the carpet, and made it a giant slip and slide. I don't even know how that got cleaned up, but it was like that for a weekend.
I have been trying to communicate to the audiences that come and listen to me is that, you know, all things concerned, it's better to be an adult. Like, it's better. And people do look back and they romanticize.
So much better.
They romanticize. Like, I went to my high school reunion.
Just the pussy.
And I went back to my high school reunion and after like 25 years, and it had many of the stereotyped features of such events. And one of them was this nostalgia for, let's say, junior high. And I swore to myself in junior high, I looked around at my friends and I thought, people keep telling us these are the best years of my life, our lives. And all of my friends are miserable. They're miserable, being 13, 14. They're like completely miserable. I'm never going to forget this.
Right.
I'm not going to fall prey to the delusion that these were the grandest years of our life. And I don't think they are. I think
they were terrible.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. Like, you were constricted. You didn't have freedom to go like where you wanted, to do what you want. I mean, to some degree you did because you were a kid, you had less responsibilities. We didn't have a car. You didn't really have money. Maybe you had a part-time job, so you had a little bit of money. Where the freedom and the good part comes in that people usually reference is the fact that you didn't have to pay bills. You didn't have to go to a job. You went to school. You always had your weekends off. You always had summer vacation. You know, you could just hang out with your friends after school. Like, you had to do homework. You had to do some chores. And that was about it. Like, your life was fairly straightforward and structured and simple. So that's where people look at the nostalgia aspects of it. I used to think that about my college years when I was just renting like a room in a basement. I would look back on that, and I remember being so happy, like I loved it, but I spent a lot of time just playing World of Warcraft. A lot of time playing World of Warcraft and doing martial arts and like cycling around, like how I'd get around places. I don't know. I guess it was just like, it just seemed simple. That's probably why I liked it. It just seemed pretty simple and straightforward. But definitely being an adult, way better, way more freedom, way more access to things. If I had to put a age range to it, I think like your late 20s, early 30s is great years. At least they were for me.
You had acne, and you were so horny. I mean, I was like beyond horny from, I would say, 11 to 16 without any relief of that except myself. So you're at the horniest, and
least desirable.
Well, least desirable.
Hell of a combination.
Right.
I remember, when I was, that teenage years, like 15, 16, whatever, I would print off the pornography pictures from my dad's printer. I used all the ink up. And so I guess that's how he found out. It makes sense, right? He went to go print something. There was like no ink. And, I think the first time he was like, well, there's no ink, maybe he did some printing or something, right? And like it was low, etc., etc. But then like the second time he was like, why is this thing always out of ink? Anyways, they like raid my room and find that I had printed off these pictures. I had hidden them in like this decorative can. I don't know, my mom had some decorative sort of can in my room on the floor, so I was shoving them in there. Anyways, they find that, I guess they burn it or whatever. So then they were constantly checking my room for like pictures and shit. So then I was like, okay, I had to like devise my own way to get content for myself. So I would draw pictures, and not even like naked pictures. It wasn't even like pornography pictures, but I would draw pictures, like sensual pictures of women, but I couldn't draw faces well. At least the eyes, like the nose and the lips or something I couldn't do, and like fingered hands. So I would draw like pictures of like women with their heads turned to the side or something like that, and like they were in a certain angle, so I didn't have to like worry about like the nose and lip full on features and stuff, and like their hands would be like this, not like spread out. And then I would like write stories for it, and I had them like a little journal thing. So this is like all my stuff was kept, and I had to like resort to my own content. You know what? And actually, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for doing it, because it was very creative. It was very creative. And you know what? Like, it's probably better than just watching random stuff on your own, like just online, just watching pornography. The fact that I was able to like use my imagination, and I was doing a skill, which is art, and then creative writing, which is all things that are helpful in your life going forward. So actually, good job on yourself, younger Serwin. You're fantastic work.
Exactly. Let's say you did it again, God. Genius. Yeah. No, I was and shy.
So why did
super shy?
Why did things improve for you when you became an adult? What happened that was different?
Well, I don't want to get cosmic on you. I just was always meant to be this way. I was always meant to play this part. Like, are you aware of the show Camelot?
Yes.
Okay, it was one of my parents' favorites when I was a little kid. It was playing in...
Like Monty Python? Camelot? There was a show called Camelot? Well, if he's saying with his parents, it must be old. It must be like in the 70s or 80s or something.
In the house, the show recording of it. And it's about a king. They remade it. They made a movie with Sean Connery when he was older as the king. King's older. I guess it's King Arthur. And certainly on Broadway, it was Robert Goulet. Canadian Robert Goulet.
We have all the heartthrobs, man.
I was going to say, I will forgive you if you want to like sing praises to Robert Goulet, because he is a hometown hero. Come on, he was awesome. I knew him. Awesome dude. Okay, great Canadian. Forgot the words to the national anthem once.
We don't know the words to the national anthem. We keep changing them for
I
politically
know.
correct reasons. You should hear a group of Canadians get up and try to sing the national anthem. It is really quite comical.
Totally don't remember it all. or most of it, I remember the general melody. We used to sing it all the time in school. I felt like I knew it back then, but now it'd just be like, "Oh, Canada." Oh shit! I already forgot. Oh my god! What is it? The sun and hearts come. Oh my god! I don't even remember after "Oh Canada." I'm a terrible Canadian. I don't even know. Holy smokes! Do 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 do. And all our sons command, with glory hearts we see the hearts are true Lord, or true land strong and free. Oh, Canada, something, 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 da-na. We stand on guard for the... There's not so many gaps. Oh, my God.
We mumble through at least 2/3 of it. Is it sons or daughters or them or they? We have no idea.
Playing your greatest hits. Okay, so Robert Goulet, this is what made him a star on Broadway in 1960. He played Sir Lancelot. And it's a love triangle. Guinevere, she's married to the king, who's an awesome king. He's a great king. It's not like he's a schmuck or anything. And he's still very hot. Sean Connery, even at 60. Okay. So, but she, of course, falls for the handsome young Lancelot, Robert Goulet. That's when he sings, "If ever I would leave you, it wouldn't be in summer." Okay.
This is it. In the Redpill community, this is called Beta Bucks, Alpha Fs. I didn't want to say the F word. So, hot young Lancelot, he's the alpha here. And the king is the beta. He's just paying for her life, the cushy life that Guinevere has so she can sleep with the hot young tangs. Redpill just coming back and destroying Camelot.
Okay, so I hope we don't have to pay royalties for that. So, I was never meant to be Lancelot. I'm not the boyfriend. I wasn't good at that. I'm the king. Okay?
Wait. He's not Lancelot. He's the king who's getting cheated on, who was married to Guinevere, but he's not married. So he's saying he gets cheated on? Bill, I'm not following. I'm just not following this. You lost me.
It's great. You can have your boyfriend, your Lancelot, but it was just never the role that I was meant to play. So I just got more comfortable the older I got, to this day. And of course, at some point that will end because, we are pushing, the age where I guess that is around the corner. But, until they stop me, I'll continue to live young. To answer your question, what keeps me going? I think a lot of it is that. I like the fact that I didn't have kids because then I didn't pass on. I didn't trade my life for someone else's life, which is what you sort of have to do when you have kids. It's noble, and I get the sacrifice, but
You just traded your life for something else, Bill. You traded your life for career and money and, working towards that. You educate people. You're literally educating and providing entertainment for people. So... it's just time. We only have so much time. So what did you think was going to happen?
Really, what has sustained you? You talked about your parents, and you're grateful to that relationship.
Yeah.
Well, so
my sister is still in the world, and we're close, and we talk on the phone and stuff. That's nice.
Friends?
The best.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And the greatest thing about being this age is that, friends are something you collect over a lifetime. And I don't mean that in a cynical way. It's a good thing.
Yeah, right.
I remember, at Cornell, having no friends.
Yeah.
No friends.
Yeah.
Zero.
How old were you when you went to Cornell?
Like everybody, 18.
Yeah, okay. And when was that?
74.
Okay.
Okay, so, forget girlfriends. No girls, forget that was not going to happen at Cornell. But not even friends. That's lonely.
Yeah,
to go from that to, when you're this age and you have friends who, like, I have 3 friends from childhood, you know, a couple from college, and then friends from early stand-up who are still my friends. Friends from when I was like an actor in the 80s, you know, a couple of people like that. And then from the people on Politically Incorrect, and then Real Time over the last 30 years, friendships that just happened organically. I mean, I never push it on anybody.
But a lot of those are long-term friendships.
Long-term.
So why do you think,
So
you don't have to answer this,
it's wonderful
a
to have
question,
so many
but
wonderful friends.
why do you think you were so successful in terms of maintaining long-term friendships, but not successful in terms of maintaining
Because I
long-term
don't see it as a
relationships?
success.
Right,
see,
but you do see
I know,
having
but
the friends
again,
as a...
just the way the question is phrased,
Yeah, okay.
you are not successful at keeping long-term relationships. Yeah, I threw the game, okay, Doc? I didn't want to be successful. I took a dive in the 3rd round. Yeah.
Right, but it's curious to me but that isn't the case on the friendship front.
But it's so different. Friendships, you don't get tired of the sex. I still love hanging out with Jim Vallely, and we never, ever expect sex.
Well, you guys are obviously missing out. I mean, it's acceptable now. You can... 2 men just getting it on. I mean, I don't know what you guys were thinking. I mean, isn't that what you do with all your guy friends? No. Okay, don't start any rumors, guys. Don't start any rumors now, okay? I'm just joking, okay? Seriously. All right. The girl I'm dating now is a really good friend to me. So it's kind of like, what do you mean that you don't get tired, like you can't get tired of the sex and all this type of thing? It's not like the only reason you're with a woman or a man, like whatever you're in a relationship for, is just for sex. You should be somebody that you enjoy spending time with. If you're only there for sex, it seems like it's like very short-sighted or like shallow. Like it's just this one thing. Like what? I don't know. It's weird to me. That's it seems like a dumb thing to say. You should be good friends with the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, because once, you know, let's say you have kids, once the kids are gone, you're going to be stuck with each other. So you should be friends and like to do similar things. This feels like you're missing a dynamic of the relationship if all it is about sex.
Ever. Not once in 45 years. And so there's just not that dimension to it that is always hanging over the head like the sword of Damocles over relationships. The clock's always ticking on them for when the passion runs out. And that's the dilemma everybody finds themselves in. Everybody finds themselves in it. It's just how people handle it. Some people cheat, some people leave, some people don't care. Some people just suck it up. You know, everybody has their way of dealing with it, but it's going to happen. No one who's in a long-term relationship is going to say, oh yeah, 20 years on and we still like attack each other when we walk in the door. It's just, come on.
That's true in my case.
You still attack each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it makes an ugly
We just
picture.
played Stump the Band. You got me.
Sorry, man.
You got me.
Sorry.
You win
Yeah.
dinner at Pepe's.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Wow, that's very impressive. That's
really
You're better,
well, you know,
better man than I.
Oh my God. Yes. What is he like? Jordan Peterson's in his 60s or late 50s? And I think his wife is the same age or very similar, like they're very close in age. So that's pretty impressive. I have heard of people like that. Like there are a couple of folks that I can think of that when they're older, like couples, that are like that. But I would say that's pretty rare. Probably, I want to say like 5-10%. Or at least that it's like open, that you can kind of tell. Because maybe some people behind closed doors are just getting it on, they're freaky deaky. I don't know.
let me tell you the story. Because so
Tell us the
both
story,
my wife and I
Professor.
were very sick for a couple of years.
Right.
And she just about died every day for about 8 months. It was really not good. And she handled it with amazing grace, by the way. And at the same time, I was very ill, and we were actually separated like for about 2 years because I was in hospitals here and there.
Sure.
And so I was there with her for the bulk of her illness, and then when she recovered very suddenly and somewhat miraculously, on our 30th wedding anniversary day, by the way, which she told me she was going to do like 3 months previously, which was like, I have no idea what to make of any of that. I got very ill.
Does not just sound like a mental condition, Dan? You like mentally switch. You're like, on this day, it's game time. You know? That's what it kind of sounds like when you say, like, she picked our wedding anniversary. She's like, on this day, I'll be recovered. Or, like, in recovery mode. It's all upwards from here.
After that. And so we were apart more or less for about 2 years. And we grew apart quite a lot. And when we got back together, when I moved back into the house, we didn't really know what to do with each other because it had been so long and she had kind of gone her way and I was still very ill. But we had made a habit of dating 2 or 3 times a week. Like we really set aside time to do that.
Each other?
And yes, each other. Yes, like an important point, Bill. Yeah. And so we had practiced that
Very important.
continually.
Wow.
And we really set aside time to do that. And so when we got back together and we didn't really know what to do, we thought, well, we had this dating routine, like maybe we could start that up again. And I tell you, man, that brought us back together right away. And it was better than it was before. And that has continued.
And when you say dating,
Yeah.
like describe a date. Like it sounds like like something where it's planned and you know you're at your best and you're
Yep. All of that.
Yeah, that's
all
what
that.
you got to do.
Well, okay, I can tell you. Well, so we have this third
You go
floor.
out to dinner. You
We generally don't because I can't go out in public that much, you know, because,
look at you.
well, you know, so,
Fucking A, cannot go out in public. I love it.
well, not be private, right? So
Okay, so-
Yeah, just get mobbed by people. It's not very romantic. I guess people would just always be coming up. Are you Dr. Jordan Peterson? Can I get a selfie? Oh my God! Oh! Like, this is why I feel. I don't know. I feel like if I saw some famous people, I would want to just go talk to them and be like, hey, like I really appreciate your work, whatever. But I feel like ultimately I'd rather just give like a wave and a nod, you know, because I'm like, they're just people.
you I'm sure you know
Hockey,
exactly
you
what
do
that's
something
like.
that involves hockey.
Yeah, yeah. If I wear a mask, if I wear a goalie mask,
There you go.
I can to a
Solve
hockey
2
game.
problems at once. And COVID.
Yeah. We have this third floor on our house. We built a log cabin essentially on the third floor of our house in Toronto. It's this
Really?
little narrow house. Yes, we had this weird idea that we would build a log cabin on the roof of our house, which we eventually did.
The
Although
roof.
yes, we tore off the roof and we put a third floor on that's basically a log cabin.
Holy
Except
crow.
we had an Indian guy, Native Canadian actually, come and help us design it. And it's full of totem poles and beautiful
Really?
native art. Yeah, it's a crazy place. It's all wood.
Does
It has great acoustics. It's it's not much bigger than this place. It's about the same size as the place that we're in right now. And
Do you let Elizabeth Warren stay there for free?
I would if she asked, you know. It's only
my
polite.
God.
So, and it has great acoustics. It has a great sound system. We go up there and dance, and it's beautiful. I have like
Dance.
Yeah, we go up there and dance, and we have these like I have laser light show up
Oh
there,
my
which is
God.
real fun. And
Do you know how many
Show.
women just came right now? The idea that this like erudite, good-looking guy, you got the George Hamilton tan. I don't know how a fucking Canadian gets a tan like that. Oh, I guess you're here in California.
hey man,
Okay.
Instatan.
Wow.
Hey, I got a nice tan. I tan very well. How dare you, sir? How dare you? And I am strictly up in Canada. I have not left this year to go anywhere warm and sunny. Just go outside.
Like to know that there's a guy in the world who is like that with somebody he's been with for 30 years, that is the ultimate pussy boner for women. I mean, seriously. That wettens panties from here to Kuala Lumpur. I'm telling
Well,
you.
so that's a good move. So
But
there's
it's true.
There's a place in LA
Right?
called Trashy, .com, trashy.com.
Trashy lingerie.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so
I had a membership card in 1988.
Okay, so you know the place well. So about 20 years ago, something like that, I bought like 100 pieces of lingerie for my wife.
Whoa, 100?
Yeah, a whole bunch, like a boatload. Yes.
What a baller!
Yeah. It was, and then she wore them, and that took care of the novelty problem. By the way.
The novelty. Oh, really?
You know what? I agree with this. I am a big fan of lingerie, and I think that definitely helps out, at least from the man's perspective, is that, you know, your partner puts on, woman partner, I guess, puts on a different piece of lingerie, you know, on different occasions. You know, and you're gonna have your favorites, but you know, she's gonna put on different items. You know, you gotta keep it a little spicy. And I think that's pretty tame, frankly.
Helped a lot.
Well,
yes.
I mean, it's the same.
And it was a form of play, you know.
Oh, of course. I mean, let me tell you, you're low maintenance because, I mean, the idea that just different lingerie because it's still the same person in there. I mean, that's my problem.
Yeah, but that's the benefit. I know what she likes. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I thought it was kind of interesting, the conversation they were having. It's a huge podcast. It's almost 2 hours long. So please go check out Bill Maher's Club Random. I'll link this video down below so you can click it there if you wish and watch the full 2 hours. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on the next one.